Hello and welcome to the Leathercraft Masterclass tool reviews. In this review I'm taking a look at the new pipe awl by Crimson Hides. Now most people will know Crimson Hides for their stitching chisel slash pricking iron hybrid, which is very popular and very good, but they also do lots of other tools as well, including an electric edge creaser. But this is their pipe awl and it's designed for ideal ergonomics. It just so happens to have a bit of a pipe look to it, but it is very comfortable, very high quality tool, and I've had the privilege of using this for a few weeks now to test it out before doing this review, and I've come up with some things that I want to share with you about this pipe awl. Now I've written down some things that I want to go over: build quality, price, design, flexibility, and ergonomics. So starting with build quality. The pipe awl is made from ebony wood, so it's solid ebony wood, hence the almost jet black colour to it. There is a red spacer here, and then this piece here, the ferrule itself, is actually solid brass. So it's machined or turned in a lathe from one piece of solid brass. The blade is very sharp right out of the box. So if you aren't into sharpening your awls from scratch, which even Blanchard, Dixon, things like that, a lot of them you have to almost start from scratch. So if you want to get stitching right out of the box, then these are, shaving sharp, straight from the box. So the quality of the steel is very good. I've noticed that it holds an edge for quite some time by comparison to some older awls that I have. You'll be able to go for a little bit longer than normal. The steel itself is SKD11, so it's a high carbon, high chromium alloy tool steel, and it is very nicely finished, very nicely machined. Moving on to the price. The price on their website is 95 Singapore dollars. So Crimson Hides is from Singapore, so it's 95 Singapore dollars, and that equates to £58 and 98 pence at time of filming. Which is about $15,000. No, not really. I don't know what that is in dollars. Probably about $60–70. I don't think there's much in the between the pound and the dollar right now. But price-wise, for what you're getting, is actually very good. So it's a premium awl, obviously, but I think there are similar options which are a lot more expensive, and I think this definitely falls into the category of you can pay more, but you won't necessarily get more. But you can pay less and you get a lot less. And the reason is the flexibility of this awl, which I'll go on to next. But I think price-wise, another replaceable blade awl is this Jerome David awl, one of my favorite awls. It's gorgeous, it's very well made, but it's $100, so it's an expensive awl. So this is, not quite half the price, but it's a lot less money, and you're not giving anything up for it. So although I love both awls, I think this is a pretty good deal at £53 or £54 or whatever it is at the moment. So moving on to flexibility. Now this is really where this awl kind of separates from your average, say, Blanchard awl or Dixon's awl, where everything is pretty much fixed for you. This, on the other hand, comes with an Allen key. So if I remove that, if I take that out, I can actually find the little grub screw here, or set screw as you guys call it in the US, and just undo that a couple turns, doesn't take too much, and I can take that out. So it almost looks like a little tiny sword if I bring it up to the camera there, so you can see it. And it flares out at the bottom, but it is a straight walled blade, so it's not depth sensitive. So you can push in 5mm, 10mm, 15mm. Doesn't really make a difference until you get right towards the top. So if you are using a very large pricking iron, you can push it all the way, almost all the way to the end there. The base of it is like a barrel, so it's a cylinder, it's perfectly round, and that means it can rotate within the ferrule. So if I bring that ferrule back into play, I can place that in there, do it up until it's just touching. So it's some resistance, but I can actually rotate it any which way that I want. So I can get a piece of stout leather, for example, and then I can use whatever pricking iron that I prefer to use, and I can match up the angle of the blade to that particular pricking iron. So if you have, say, a vintage pricking iron with very, very steep angle to the prongs, then I can have it set a little bit higher up. If I'm using a more modern pricking iron with a straighter stitch, I can have it further forwards, and then I can set that, and it takes literally seconds just to adjust that. Now, because it can be taken in and out, in the kit you get a smaller one as well, and you can see that. So if you want something with a finer stitch, then the smaller one can switch out again within seconds. Doesn't take very long. The thickness, again, it's a straight walled blade. The thickness is 1.9, so 1.9 millimeters wide. And the larger blade, which is the one I've mostly been using, to be honest with you, is 2.3. So 2.3. And I'm imagining it probably matches up with their pricking irons as well. Now, one thing I will say, because the piece that goes into the ferrule is completely round. Oops, I'm using the camera to gauge. Because it's completely round, you have to be careful that you don't twist the awl. So some people have the habit of pushing the awl in and then twisting as they pull out. That's something you want to avoid with this. Now, I have tested this to see whether it turns in the ferrule. I've done it up as tight as I dare. Don't go too tight with it, because the grub screw is actually made from brass as well. And I've actually rotated it in a 4mm piece of bridle leather, and the blade stays with the awl. But I would caution you not to turn it as you're going in if it's blunt, which it shouldn't be. But what some people like to do is, if they're stitching something and they're finding the needles are a little bit grippy, a little bit tight in the holes, what they like to do is push the awl in, twist it and pull out, and it just temporarily opens up the hole for you. I would probably say it's better to use a slightly larger awl, or an awl with a thicker blade. So instead of having to twist it as you stitch, my recommendation is to use the right awl and use a bigger blade, which this comes with. So just beware, don't push it in and twist it as you're stitching. It probably can take it, but you have to do it up very tight to prevent any kind of movement in the blade. So just something to be aware of. It's not a flaw in it, but if you are twisting, it's usually because you're not using the right awl for the job. So that would be my recommendation. Now, ergonomics. Now this is really, I mean, there's a lot of, the build quality is good. I think the price is good. It's flexible, it's modular, you can switch out the blades and things like that. But the one place that this awl stands out above any other awl is the ergonomics. It's the shape of it. And holding it in your hand, most of the weight is at the base, as you can see, so that I can actually pivot it between my fingers. So as I'm stitching, I can bring my fingers back, push it forwards, use it, and then pull that back, and then stitch as normal. So the shape of it, although it looks quite fancy, like a little pipe, there you go, you can point it at people to make a point if you like. It hinges very, very well. And it's one of those things, you pick it up and it feels a bit like an old friend, like you've used it many, many times before. It's different. It feels comfortable. It's just different to what you're used to, right? But it's a bit like, for me, Islay whiskies. I like Scotch whiskey. Islay whiskies are a very smoky, peat smoky style of whiskey. First time you try it, it's like, wow, it's just so much smoke in this. It's a very different flavor, very different experience. But sometimes when you switch back to a regular whiskey, it's just something missing. It's you know, something's not quite there, and you kind of want to go back. And this awl is definitely like that. When I pick it up and I use it, especially for a length of time, whenever I pick up a normal awl, it just doesn't quite feel the same. So I've come to kind of really like this awl. So it definitely gets my recommendation. And if you guys have any questions about it, comment below and let me know what you think. But thanks for watching this review, and I'll see you next time.